Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. Behind me, 2013 Ford Flex. We're gonna be replacing the valve cover gaskets. Let's get started. Our next move is to drain our coolant. So we'll go ahead and remove our skid plate. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 of these little twist clip things. And then the whole thing will fall down and we'll just slide it back out of the way. Our petcock or our drain should be on the passenger side. All right, there we are with our drain. Just lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. And you should be good to go. We'll just let that drip while we're doing other things up top. Now up top, we're gonna pull the battery negative cable off first. And just tucked out of the way. And then we'll pull off our engine cover. All right, let's tackle this intake manifold. All the electrical connectors, we just push, pull. If they have clips, we'll pop those clips out. These little retainers, again, having a pair of pliers like this, that definitely makes it easier. Not necessary, but easier. There we go. These wire connectors, you just push the wire in and then it pops out. Now, let me show you what just happened. The little weather packing right here. It came out of the plug. If that ever happens to you, it's not a big deal. Just push it right back in the plug. We want to make sure all our weather stripping is good, or our weather pack. There we go. Perfect. Just disconnect this. We have these hoses here. It looks like it just pops off right here. Maybe it doesn't have to come off. We could just twist it out of the way, then this whole thing comes up. It's good enough. 10 mil bolt. So you're just looking for all the electrical connectors, anything that's attached. That's all we're doing. This back here for all the body. Now this has a red clip. You just push the red clip out and then you just pinch like everything else. Same with this one here. Okay, good. Pull off our turbo hose here. Disconnect map, 8 mil. Sometimes these are on there pretty tight. Just move them around, maybe a screwdriver or a pick to get underneath the clamp just to break it free. There we go. Maybe one more. Perfect. Now that should pop off. There. Okay, nice. Fold that out of the way. Just keep looking. So we got these, the yellow, you push in and pull. So that's that one. This gray, it has a tab that you can pull aside and bring out. And then that should come off like that. Let me show you that a little closer on this PCV valve here. You see that? So it's just this little tab here, you push out. So that's how you get the gray ones. Now these white ones, you have to push up. So it's not down on the white, but there's actually underneath it. Let's see if we can kind of flip it over a little and get a pick. I'll show you that once I get it off. There we go. So this one, you pop up so it fits in like that. I don't know if you can see that, but this white tab here pops up. You push on these little clips from underneath. So that's out of the way. Let's see what else. I think we're clear on that side. Hop up and look over. So just the purge valve, it's just resting. There we go. Okay, so we got all of that out of the way. Now sometimes these little looms are brittle and will start to crack and break. That's okay, but we'll want to vacuum it out before we pull the manifold off so none of that debris gets inside the engine. It looks like the only other thing I have is this turbo hose here. So I'll disconnect it from this side. 8 mil here. I'll use a pick to get in between the hose. That should pop off, easy peasy. Tuck that down. Got this bigger clamp, pull that off, and I think, and then we got this little clamp here, or a little hose in the front. And just on all these hoses, I'm just getting a pick in between. There we go. Perfect. This should slide up just out of the way enough. Now the wiring harness underneath it does have one little retainer up here. It's like a tannish cream color. Oh, my tool doesn't quite. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so now, is that out of the way? All right, that takes care of everything from here over. I'll move the camera over to this side. We'll have to remove this box, the thermostat, and a few other small things on this side. And then we'll get the vacuum out and we'll be ready to pull it. So on the box, we got this connector here. Push and pull. Let me see. Okay. All right, 8 mil. Couple of clips. Gets this off. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we want to pull the thermostat housing off. It's just two what are they, 8mm bolts. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 hoses to pull off that side. And then this harness, we just want to get a little more wiggle room on the harness. There's a connector right here. Pull that off. Make sure that doesn't connect. I'm just gonna stuff it in the cloth here. All right, and then we could just pull up on the harness. It's connected, the studs for the valve cover, they have little harness retainers. Just pull up, should be good. Just to get a little more flexibility on this thing. It's a pretty stiff harness. And use a little pry bar on this end over here. There we go. Okay, so far so good. Yeah, that's everything. So that's just a really stiff harness, but it might be perfectly fine for when it comes time to pull the manifold. We'll just pull the thermostat out. All right, that's stuck in there pretty good. So we'll leave it in, we'll pull it out later. Now's a good time to replace the thermostat if you're doing this whole job. So we'll just get those hoses the best we can. Get a pick, and I'm just using a pick like this, just a normal angled pick. Just get a flathead screwdriver and push them off. These are the 2 heater hoses. There might still be a little coolant in them, so just keep that in mind as you're pushing them off. Use something with a little more handle to it. Okay, so there's 2. I got 2 more. Starting to get a tool for those bottom ones. For that one furthest down, I'm having a hard time getting a pair of pliers on. So I have this tool here. You can kind of just put it in and then squeeze from back here so you don't have to worry about your handle getting in the way of anything. There we go. I'm sure you could get it without this, but man, it made it a lot easier. Do the same thing with the pick. Get under there. The pick just breaks it free from the metal. That's all you're using it for. Sometimes you can just use a pair of pliers and kind of twist it and it'll break free that way. Either way. All right, perfect. Whew. Those 2 bottom ones, a little struggle, but we got them. I think that is it. So let me get a vacuum. We'll vacuum all around the intake manifold and then we'll pull those bolts off. They are 8mm. So there's a little wad of pasta noodles back there. Kind of funny, like a mouse cooking some pasta. Okay, 8mm. Let's see, I'll get a deep 6-inch extension. All right, let's see if we got everything. There is this coolant hose over here that has to come off. It's just 1 clamp. It's the big one. Looks like that goes all the way through and connects to the other side. Okay, there we go. Well, it looks like our fuel line does have to come off. Let me show you real quick what I'm dealing with. If you can see right in here, hopefully that lighting is good enough, but it hits on this fuel line, so we just have to move that fuel line. Eventually we will be disconnecting it, but not right now. Should just be an 8mm. You just want to pull that little bracket off. I think that'll move out of the way enough for us. Yeah, perfect. Okay, what are we hung up on now? It's just this harness at the moment. There we go. Perfect. We will put some rags in these holes so nothing falls in them. So next we're gonna work on this back valve cover. And it'll be kind of the same thing. We're just looking for what is connected to it. Our electrical connectors have to pull our coils off. Let me re-angle you probably in a better spot. Let me see what you guys are looking at. Okay, so what do we need to pull off? Let's get this tube the rest of the way out of the way. We got this electrical connector up here, and we have 2 hose clamps in the back. You'll be able to see them pretty easily. One is an 8mm and the other is just a pair of pliers. On our ignition coils, it's just a red tab that gets pushed back to unlock it, and then you just push like normal. A little screwdriver or pick helps with those tabs. All right, and then just look for harness connectors too, or harness clips. Holding it to the valve cover, pop those off. There's one over here. I think once I get that one off, there we go. And then we got, looks like a cam position sensor. Undo that, okay. This thing is still super stiff. Wish it wasn't so stiff. There we go. That helps a little. kind of limited because over here there's it's like a ground strap. There's another one here. Okay, now our VVT solenoid in the front. Let's remove this, our PCV system. Let's see what size that is, 8 mil. Yep. Just trying to make room to get this off, but I'll just use a little pick. There we go. Okay. And then down here is just where the harness goes over the top of a stud. Probably makes assembling super easy, but man, disassembling, those things are ridiculous. All right, got it. Holy cow, that was challenging. Okay, want to say I just have the coils. Let's do that real quick. So all the boots popped off the coils. Hopefully I can get down there with a pair of pliers and pop them off, but usually they self-destruct at that point. Okay, 10 millimeter. I think we can get all of them and everything is disconnected. Oh, 8 mil back here. This hose, just a little 8 mil holding it there. Hopefully it's flexible enough to come off of that. Let's disconnect it from here. They'll be independent of each other. There we go. Now this valve cover is symmetrical, so the ones in the back line up exactly with the ones in the front, except just one on the other side of the VVT solenoid. It's kind of the exception, but otherwise, if you're looking for it on the other side, it's just right where the one is on this side, go directly back and you'll find it. I think that's it. I don't see any in the middle. Let's just pop up on it. Let's see where we can pop up on it safely. Here in the front. And there is RTV in the front on both sides, so feel a little sticky. Like we need another pry spot. There we go. So the front has to make it up and over the VVT solenoid. We'll see if we can get that. And then the back, it's just this harness kind of sucks. I think that's it. There we go. No problem. Peel off the rest of the valve cover gasket. I'm gonna drape this with some towels. Okay, perfect. Looking good. Let's do the front. All right, moving on to the front. So we have our high pressure fuel pump. That does need to come off. We got our cam, or our VVT solenoid, I mean. We'll undo that. Then we just got our electrical harness. So just like the other side, we're just looking for what's connected. So this whole side has the harness connected to it. It's really not a good way to pop those off. They're very annoying. We have this that can come up. Okay. Right here on the front, let me get that size. It's a 13 mil. Pulls off a little plastic cap where our cover snaps onto. And then under that, looks like a 8 mil, deep 8 mil. Holds on a little hose here for our turbo. I think our turbo oil line does have to come off from the engine, but let me consult the manual for that. In the meantime, we got our PCV stuff. Just pop that off and out of the way. All this is done. Pull this up and out of the way. So now we just need to know why. Oh, right here, this one, perfect. And this one here, unplug our pressure regulator. Okay, we'll do our coils real quick. So that should be enough out of the way. All right, let me look at the manual for that oil cooler hose. Okay, so it does not say we have to disconnect it anywhere else except that one retainer. So, there you go. So just use your muscles and pull it up and off. Okay, making progress. Now we have our ignition coils. We'll pull those off, and then our high pressure fuel pump. I want to say that's it. I'll twist these out. Okay, just like the other side, all the boots came off. So I'll have to tackle that later. Now for our high pressure fuel pump, we have an 8 mil here. Let's just bust that loose real quick. And we want these high pressure lines. There's 3 nuts we have to pull off, 1 here, and then 2 on the rail. This one here, this flexible hose can stay on, but we just want these hard lines off. Let me see what size they are. Okay, it is a 17 millimeter. We want to get a rag, so put this on, rag over it, because there still may be a little residual fuel pressure inside, and we'll crack it loose. And a little sprayed out, not a whole lot. Okay, we'll just want to soak all this up. Perfect. And we'll do that to the other side, these 2 lines. Exact same thing, just in case there's any kind of pressure. Now there shouldn't be after this is cracked, but we're just being safe. Nice. And 1 more. All right, perfect. Now there may be a little residual fuel in these lines, so soak it up with the rag. That way we're not breathing in this fuel the rest of our repair. Nice. That's it. Our pump bolts are T45 Torx. We'll just loosen up one side, loosen up the other side. Now this should be spring loaded on the cam, so we'll kind of walk it off, little on either side. There we go. And get another rag just in case there's fuel inside, just some residual. Okay, and we'll just lay that over there, out of our way. Okay, that's it. Let's pull off all our 10 mils. Okay, find a spot to pry on it. Looks like right here. I don't really give you too many places to pry on. Really, it's just breaking that RTV in the front. I think it's just the gasket. RTV in the front, plus this is the first time these valve covers have been off. So the gas is just really stuck to the head. That was it. We didn't forget anything. It was just super sticky. There we go. Come off the front. Yeah, pull that out. Don't forget that. Good thing it is flexible, so it didn't bend or anything. So, but pull this out. There we go. Pull the gasket rest of the way off. Now we'll be getting new valve cover gaskets and new intake gaskets. So if you're doing this project, just make sure you get those ahead of time. Now some rags over the top. Nice. So on our valve cover, this is the right-hand side or the back of the engine. We're gonna just pop this off so we don't damage it at all. Now our tube seals right here, we can pop them out from this direction. Grab a little screwdriver and a little hammy. There we go. Okay, so when you're popping it out this way, you just wanna be careful not to gouge the side of your valve cover. Now we'll just do the other 2. All right, so 1, 2, 3, out. Okay, so now putting them in, we're gonna put them in the exact same way we took them out from this side down. We got a 32 mil socket. This socket is the same size as your axle nut, so having it is a good idea anyway. It's a 32 millimeter, and that fits perfectly in here. We have a little silicone paste, dielectric grease as a lubricant. We'll just coat the outside of it and coat just a little bit inside the well here. We'll put our seal in, just like that. Fits perfectly in there. And we'll take a little hammer, smack it in. All right, the bottom's out. There's a little lip here, so you can't go any further than that. We'll come over, double check it. Looks good. We'll do the last one. Little silicone paste, drop it in, smash it down. That's it. Flip it over, looks good, and we're done. We also have our VVT solenoid seal here will pop out. So the exact same thing, pop it out. Just like that. It gave us a new one. This one here came in the kit. And this is just a Felpro kit, nothing special. And then we'll just pop that in. See if the same size works. It does. Looks good. Flip it over, make sure it's all the way down. Okay, our seals are done, looking good. Now we'll clean out our channel really well. Let's clean this whole surface off. We'll take some compressed air, blow it all out. Let's get it nice and clean for our new gasket. Now there is a blue and black gasket. We have these little protruding or extra fat spots here. That's where a little RTV will go, but on the head side. So those will go towards the front. And just put this whole thing in. Perfect, and we'll just push it down as far as it'll go. Nice. So this valve cover is done. We'll go ahead and do the exact same thing to the other valve cover, and then we'll hop onto the head side and get that prepped. Okay, so on the head, we're gonna do this front one first. This is the left-hand side. Pull all this off. Now we're just gonna wipe it good and clean. We don't want any of that grit in the engine. So when you wipe, you go from the inside out, inside out. And we'll just get the whole thing super clean. So we're gonna take a little bit of brake clean. And right where the timing cover meets the head, there's that little crack. We wanna just wipe that off. That's where we're gonna put a little RTV, is right in that seam. So there should be 2 on this side, 2 on the other side when we get to it. Doesn't take a lot, just a good dab. Because as the valve cover gets pressed, it'll all squish out. If we forget this step, it may end up being an oil leak in that spot. So now, what I like to do is just put a little bit of lubricant on our tube seals and our VVT solenoid seal, just so it slips on nice and easy. Especially with new seals, sometimes they could be a little stiff, okay? And that's it. Try not to get any oil in these spots. If you touched it with oil, then we'll just get a little brake clean and wipe it off. You want it to stick. All right, now let's just fish it in. All right, and just make sure nothing got pinched underneath. Get a flashlight. Like any electrical connectors, just make sure everything is free. Looks good. This little spot's gotta tighten here. Okay, looks good. All right, and then we'll just hand tighten all of these to get them started. Okay, we'll tighten them down and then we'll get a torque spec. Okay, let me give you some torque specs up front so I don't have to pause later. These are 89 inch-pounds, same with the other side, 89 all around. And our intake manifold is 89 plus 45 degrees. I believe that's it. For our high pressure pump, I recommend putting a little bit of oil on the threads of our metal line. Those 3 flare nuts, just a little bit of oil. Torque those down to 24 foot-pounds. Wait 10 minutes and then double check, make sure that they are 24 foot-pounds. I believe that's it. I still have to get these boots out of each spark plug well on this side and that side. And then it's just a matter of putting everything back together. All the electrical connectors plugged in, hoses. So our high pressure pump has a new seal that comes in our valve cover gasket kit. Okay, we'll pop this one off. And then 2 new O-rings as well. Let's wipe this clean. You can look at your O-rings. If they still protrude quite a bit and they're still pretty flexible, you can go ahead and reuse the old ones if you'd like, but it's up to you. So we'll drop this in. Again, we'll walk it back on. Our pump bolts are 89 inch-pounds plus 45 degrees. Okay, and then 45 is half of 90. All right. Now for our fuel line, we want to coat these threads just a little bit with oil. I'm actually just going to put a little bit of oil on the nut itself. All right, now we can install it. I want to make sure that all our little flares are nice and clean. Okay. Now these are 24 foot-pounds, and then we'll wait 10 minutes and then double check that they're 24 foot-pounds. Okay, now let's work on our back cover. So same thing, we're just gonna wipe off the head. Okay, take a little bit of brake clean. Right here. A little bit of RTV. A little silicone paste. Okay. It went in a lot easier than it came out. All right, now getting our coil boots off. I've been using a needle nose, long pair needle nose like this. I already got the front 3 off, and you're just pinching. You're trying to get in there and pinch right on the side there, and then just tug on it, and then go to the other side, tug on it. And the front 3 came off. To get to the back 3, my needle nose total length was too long, so I cut off the handle just a little. About half of the handle is off. That gives me enough space to get in underneath this right here. I got 1 out so far, so I just have 2 more to do. You can't see, so you're just kind of going by the feel. I think that's it. Yep. So there's the boot. I got one more to do. Okay, there it is. Got all the boots, none of them ripped or tore, so that's excellent. If yours do, that's okay. You can get a kit from the local auto parts store that just sells the boots only. So we'll get these boots back on the coil and we can get our coils back in. All right, with our boots on our coils, we want to take a little silicone paste, a little dielectric grease, we'll put it right on the boot. That'll give it a little bit of lubricant. This will go around the spark plug and make it easier to come off in the future. All right, we got our PCV stuff that can go on. Okay, that's for our throttle body. Let's get our 3 front ignition coils on and then we can start laying this harness over and plugging it in. Okay, so I think I'm about ready for the manifold. We're gonna do the same thing to the manifold that we've been doing and just wipe it off real good. Now, there's no RTV that goes in here, just the gaskets. All right, our intake manifold. Flip it over. We have our gaskets. This is optional to replace. If they are protruding up above and they still feel pretty flexible, you can go ahead and reuse them. We will pop all of these out, just like that. So they just drop in. So we made a mistake. I thought the Fel-Pro gasket kit came with all the seals. It does not, we're short 2. It gives you these seals, but these are not the seals that we need. So we are shy these 2 seals. These are water jacket or water port seals. I want to see if they are in stock. If not, that kind of halts our progress for now. So if you have the Fel-Pro gasket set, just keep that in mind. These 2, leave them in. That's not part of the kit. So it looks like if you get the MAHLE set, M-A-H-L-E, that set comes with everything. So we're getting that coming. All right, our MAHLE gaskets came and it came with the O-rings we needed. Let's get our intake manifold and just drop them in. It's unlike Fel-Pro to be missing important components. Okay, perfect. Now we'll lay this in. Just making sure nothing's pinched. Okay, I think that's it. Let's go ahead and bolt down our manifold. Big ones go on our thermostat side. All right, now these were 89 plus 45. All right, plus 45. Got my socket. There it is. Whoever invented magnets did a good job. Okay, so now let's work on getting our coolant hoses back on. All right, I'm gonna button everything up off camera. There's really nothing left that's technical. It's just making sure all your hoses are connected, all your electrical connectors are plugged in, and that's it. So once I got all this connected, we'll go ahead, connect our battery cable, and then we'll be ready to fire it up. All right, I think I got everything back together. Airbox in, everything's plugged in. I checked, double checked. Looks like we're good. So on our coolant, we wanna just fill it up just past that crease and just keep filling it up until eventually it settles and it stops lowering. So that'll be full. What we wanna do when we go inside, we wanna start it up. The manual has you go ahead, rev the RPMs until the rev limiter kicks at about 3,500 RPM. Hold it there for roughly a minute, 30 seconds to a minute, and then let it idle for just a second and then turn it off. Double check. So that'll get the initial purge. We wanna make sure we don't have the heater on or any of the climate control stuff on, just off. And that'll give that initial burp, that initial purge. Then we'll just let it settle for a little bit, top it off as needed, and then we will start it up, let it idle. We can flutter the RPMs if you want, but we wanna get it to operating temperature. And then we want our cooling fan to kick on. That lets us know that our thermostat is wide open. And then we'll kick up the RPM again, 3,500, do that for about a minute, then let it idle for 30 seconds, shut it off, let it cool down, double check. And then we'll bring it back up to operating temperature one more time, flutter a few times, let it idle, and that should be pretty close. The manual says do it a few times just to be 100% sure, but that should do the trick. Nice. Now let's go ahead and turn it off. I'm gonna go out, we're just gonna look for any fuel leaks around the high pressure fuel line real quick before we run it for too long. All right, so it looks like we only have access to this with our eyes. Everything else is too tucked under, and it has this little vibration, little heat thing here. So we can't see under for the other fuel line connections. That's okay. We could just keep our nose ready for any fuel smells. But this one is nice and tight. Vehicle started. We'll run through the procedure off camera, but that is it. All right, there you go. That's how you can replace valve cover gaskets on a Ford Flex. I think the hardest part of this whole job is messing with the wiring harness. Getting that harness off of those studs was a real challenge. So with a little tenacity, pull those off. You get enough room to get the cover off, replace those gaskets. Now I do recommend getting your gaskets maybe from the dealer, or if you use Felpro, it's just that VVT solenoid gasket. That one was the wrong size in the Felpro kit. Now I do like Felpro, they do make really good gaskets, but in this case, it just didn't quite measure up. So if you're gonna be replacing that VVT solenoid seal, I'd recommend getting that seal from the dealer or trying a different brand. Maybe Mall has that right size in their kit, but Felpro did not. So just one thing to keep in mind. Other than that, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment down below. See you on the next one.